Yeah, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is KL Sounds, and today we're doing a reaction with Mod Chicken, one of my favorite people in the community that does favorable TikTok videos that you stuff you can't be explained. So let's jump right into the video.
Back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be breaking down some mind-blowing videos that might explain why everything feels so off lately. Let's hop straight into the video.
So my wife and I just got a letter from United Healthcare telling us that they're denying coverage for our twins stay in the NICU. And if you thought that was inhumane, you're right. But listen to this. They didn't address it to me or my wife, like human adults. They addressed the letter to the baby.
What? To the baby? That's crazy. Dear baby girl twin egg. That's crazy. That's has to be AI.
Sadly, I guess it is appropriate that our preemie baby's first experience in the world is having its healthcare coverage denied. I guess my only other question for United Healthcare is that if the baby was still in the womb, would you have sent the letter to my wife and had her eat it in order to get it to the baby?
Now,
That's a good question right there.
they call themselves United Healthcare. They're united in the fact that they're about to deny your claim.
The license plate has 5G on it. There's 5G on your license plate.
What? It's not bad enough that the cops already got I think, RFD. I think it's like some type of laser where it can automatically be replaced from that company Flock. But now they got 5G on place now.
You see it? It's 5G. Wireless tracking.
You can't do anything these days without the government knowing, because if the flock cameras can't track you, your license plate is now a homing device.
Mike rescues animals on his small farm, and on this day, it seemed like a normal day until his animals went crazy, staring at the empty forest. He found a knocked-down fence, strange sounds started, growling, heavy breathing, snapping like a rope or a ratchet. Not any animal he knew. I'll
That's Bigfoot.
enhance some of the audio.
Vamos, Billy, venha. Ó. Venha. Vamos, Billy, venha. Ó.
Then dozens of planes and jets overhead, and as night fell, he grabbed his phone and went live. He saw a giant object hovering above the trees, round, massive, with yellow, blue and green lights,
Yeah, you can see it right there. It's blinking hard.
blinking like a game, and it wasn't a plane, drone or a helicopter. And Mayuk was visibly terrified, locking up animals, calling his mum, and the object dimmed, then seemed to move closer. And the next day he drew what he saw, and he says it was 60 meters big. Emotional in interviews, and even got an alleged DM from Brazil's intelligence agency, ABIN. So with all the strange noises and the physical encounter, what could it be? I can't explain it. What do you think? And this happened just yesterday or the day before, so everything about this is very strange. From the object itself, I mean, that genuinely looks strange, to the sounds, the growling, the high vibration, the cracks and snaps. It kind of gives me Skinwalker vibes or Skinwalker Ranch vibes. So whatever's going on out there, and apparently being approached by intelligence agencies, that is pretty telling too. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on this to see how it develops. And the drawing he drew does seem like some legacy UFO carvings, drawings, sightings, if you will. So this looks like an object that has been seen multiple times as well. Very strange. Holy moly.
This might be a real close encounter of the third kind. That growling would have made me renounce my citizenship.
There's perfect line in the sky.
That's weird. It
Mine.
looks like looks like a cloud maker. Looks like they're spraying so much cloud, but I don't know how they form it straight like that. That's crazy. On top of another cloud.
Crazy.
Either the sky is glitching or this is the silhouette of a data center.
These flesh-eating worms that feed on warm-blooded animals have been detected in the US for the first time.
Oh yeah, I was hearing about that somewhere in Texas. Yeah, they eat cows or something like that.
Since 1966. The worm was detected in a 3-week-old calf, with the larvae found in its umbilical area in the town La Praya in Texas, around 30 miles from the southern US-Mexico border. The US Department of Agriculture said the New World screwworm are parasitic flies who lay eggs in open wounds and mucous membranes on animals. When these eggs hatch, hundreds of larvae with sharp mouths burrow through living flesh and eventually their hosts if left untreated. And their hosts could be pets and people. So the risk to
Of course, it's people. It seems like allegedly Bill Gates is just trying to kill us all.
humans is low, as cases are rare. Cattle ranchers in the US feel an outbreak could shrink herds, reduce beef production, and drive prices higher for consumers. For the past year,
Stuff is already high. Everything's high.
worms have been increasing in Central America and Mexico. The worms spread via their infested animals, so authorities are establishing a 12.4-mile detection and quarantine zone. But they've been preparing for a possible outbreak for a while, saying their efforts had delayed the parasite's arrival by a year. However, Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller said that the USDA moved too slowly and relied solely on a partial solution, which takes years to implement.
It must just be a coincidence that they've been trying to get us to eat less red meat. Now we got a screwworm infestation driving up prices even further. Now you got to decide between buying a T-bone steak and paying your light bill.
I don't know. I don't remember when the last time I had a steak. It's been at least 6 months. I just been eating chicken.
Got going on in the country, but y'all see that? Oh, y'all can't see it. Look. Y'all see that? Oh, I'm tripping.
No, I see it.
You see? Yeah, I know y'all see that. What the man? Look at this. Look.
In the clouds, too.
Boy, I know. Hold up.
This could be due to somebody blowing soap bubbles in the area, but if that was the case, the bubble would have to be huge to be visible from that distance. So if it's not that, it might be a translucent orb.
When I heard John Todd's testimony on, the 70s, that guy that worked for Capitol Records, and he was specifically going up into the top realm of the Capitol building, and they would pray over every single album, attaching spirits to go with those albums. I remember a comment that he made that really stuck in my head. If you want to know how many demons you have in your home, go count your records.
I said, do they still have the colon conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. I said, now, I got to know something. What's the main reason for rock music? So that we can play spells on people that we couldn't cast spells upon. I said, okay, one last thing. I've been hearing that you must be an initiated witch now to get a record contract. He said, that's right. He said, many of us that weren't total witches have to be witches now in order to produce music.
If I was a musician, I would rather sing Temptations cover songs on the street for the rest of my life than do all this for a record deal.
NVIDIA will now pay you $22,000 a year to host an AI data center at your house. They partnered with a startup called Span, which builds this box.
I don't know. I'm about to take that. That's a lot of money.
Above that looks like an AC unit. But inside this box are 16 NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs and Dell servers. And these can either sit here in the lawn or even bolt onto the side of your house. And these units tap your unused electricity capacity.
Polte Group. I'm about to ask him. Ask the guy on X.
To be used for AI compute. And in exchange, you get free electricity, free internet, and node share payments that can be worth up to $22,000.
$22,000? Yeah, I'm taking that.
A year. Let me know in the comments if this is something you'd put at your house.
Sure, they might cover electricity, but once you get that first water bill, you're going to be selling that at-home data center on Facebook Marketplace.
Holy shit.
I saw a little garter snake on my lawn the other day and almost passed out, so the EMS will probably have to resuscitate me if I saw this.
64 million mosquitoes are set to be released across California and Florida. And you might be surprised to hear who is behind this. Google, of all companies, has applied for a permit to introduce a new population of mosquitoes.
Of course. I knew. Remember they were saying that, I think last year, the year before, they were saying that how those planes were spraying mosquitoes, but people were making it up. But here you go. Could have been Google the whole time, allegedly.
Mosquitoes into the wild in order to wipe out the disease-ridden population. Oh, the US about to have a mosquito civil war on their hands. Now, at first, this sounds absolutely insane, right? But Google thinks this is a good idea because these mosquitoes in particular have two secret weapons. The first being that they're all male, and fun fact, males don't bite humans, so they can't spread disease further. That also does kind of mean that the civil war is going to be male versus female to make things even crazier. And secondly, these mosquitoes will carry a naturally occurring bacteria called Wolbachia, which essentially makes them sterile and unable to reproduce with the female mosquitoes. Damn, they really got the...
So that means they're going to have a mosquito robots out there. That's crazy.
Was locked in on this battle. So the idea is that over time, the species responsible for spreading diseases like dengue fever, Zika virus, other West Nile viruses could be dramatically reduced without the need for toxic pesticides. But I know you're probably wondering, Google? Why is my search engine now starting mosquito civil wars? Well, in short, the answer is because they are one of the only companies in the world to have the budget, the ability, and the technology to pull off something like this. And of course, money spent on health takes up about 10% of global GDP. That's about $10 trillion a year. So if Google's technology can reduce global health costs, save lives, while also getting themselves into a big new market, well, sure, that's part of it too. But what do you guys think? Will the public trust a company like Google with an endeavor like this or not?
Even if they have good intentions, the only thing I'm okay with Google releasing is a software update.
Another earth-shaking boom equivalent to 300 tons of TNT just rattled the eastern United States. But this time over New England, barely 24 hours after South Carolina was rocked by a similar mysterious boom.
Hundreds of reports came in about that thunderous boom.
that NASA reportedly concluded was not a meteor, by the way. But around 2 p.m. today, people across Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and beyond heard what sounded like a massive explosion. Windows rattled, pets panicked, and people flooded agencies with reports, but this time, NASA says the likely cause was roughly a 3-foot wide meteor fragmenting about 40 miles above northeast Massachusetts, releasing energy estimated at 300 tons of TNT. NOAA satellite lightning data also detected a signal consistent with the meteor around the same time. Though I will say that the NextRad map has been suspiciously frozen since yesterday.
Leaving me unable to conduct a more thorough analysis of the situation because I don't trust these agencies.
But I digress. For now. So in just one day, 2 powerful aerial booms that sounded nearly identical shook the East Coast. One appears to be a meteor. The other remains still unexplained. That's what makes this all so bizarre.
I know meteorites.
I'm pretty sure it's the buildings on the ground, because now it's around the world. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's underground building.
Happen all the time, but it seems like it's happening a lot more than usual lately. I don't know if we should be concerned or not, but it definitely doesn't seem normal.
Check this out. So it's a blue moon right now, and for whatever reason, the reflections on my window are creating like 6 other moons reflections, or bokeh, or whatever you want to call it.
I don't know about
it's like
that.
lens flares, but usually with lens flares and reflections, if I move one direction, then the flare or the bokeh goes, the other way, or keeps going, based on.
I'm gonna have to ask Corridor Crew, see if maybe we can figure out what type of tricks he's doing on his phone that you can make this happen like that, because they know a lot of the virtual effects and like AI and stuff like that they can do. So I might have to ask them.
Movement, but this, they're orbiting. They're not like moving away from the lens like lens flares normally do. They're just like orbiting the center object, or the main source, the reflection source. I've never seen that, and it just happens to be the blue moon right now. What do you guys think?
These 6 different reflections kind of look like all the different vector directions that the moon is being projected into the 3rd dimension, almost like it's a hologram.
This is crazy, but hospitals are now wiring their walls to listen to people all the time. It began pretty innocently with ambient scribes, which made perfect sense. Less pajama time, more eye contact with patients, less burnout. But now some systems like the Mayo Clinic are experimenting with keeping AI ambient listening on all the time. This is absolutely crazy when you think about it. The ethical concerns and the consent concerns have created all kinds of issues, apparently. Medicine wanted frictionless documentation, but what may be evolving here is ambient surveillance. So this isn't anything that anybody signed up for, but what you have to understand about the use of any new technology is it oftentimes gets extended in ways that we never originally intended. So we all need to be part of this conversation for ourselves and for our patients. I would love to know your thoughts.
If I'm ever in a hospital room, I'm keeping my mouth shut because they gonna send whatever you say directly to the insurance companies.
The skull experiment?
Skull, S-C-O-L-E.
Refill me in.
This is, more people should know about it because it is absolutely wild. So they did an experiment in England in the town of Skull in the 90s, okay? And in that experiment, they, you're familiar with like Stephen Greer and his CE5.
Uh-huh.
That's just another flavor of this, which back in the day during the spiritualist movement, people would have, would engage in seances, right? So they systematically tried to do this in 1992 and documented and recorded everything that happened. So typically it would start with poltergeist activity. Then they would start to see or hear disembodied voices, and then they would got into a closer thing where and they would swap out people because you have to have the right number of folks around the table. And then they would eventually experience apports. So you know what an apport is? Mm-hmm. It's just when something will just materialize out of thin air, like a marble, or like we start going into the whole cryptid kind of.
The cryptids.
And then at some point there was like entities that they started physically seeing, and they have one on camera. Like I can't make it up. It's called Mr. Blue. Just look it up, right?
What
and there's
the
just
hell?
like, it looks like a gray. It's just like glowing blue and just kind of on camera. Anyway, there's also a technique called quantum imaging where they're able to take somehow access these overlapping realities and take pictures around.
Oh, there it is. Does that look familiar?
Yep, that's it.
That's not creepy looking at all. Holy.
What ended up happening is the experiment kind of got out of control and they just stopped it.
Not everything needs to be turned into an experiment, especially not a seance, because for all they know, Mr. Blue could really be Mr. Pazuzu.
So here's Drake's album, and take a look at the symbolism. 2 pillars and an initiate. 2 pillars and your Freemason. Whenever you see a person standing in between 2 pillars, this is symbolic of the entrance to the Temple of Solomon. The entrance into the mystery school, or the occult.
And don't they got a saying with something with 2 pillars also? I'm gonna have to look that up.
School. This is all esoteric symbolism. Now I know what people are going to say. These are 2 towers in Toronto. It's still the same symbolism. 2 twin pillars which are symbolic of Jachin and Boaz.
For a group like the Freemasons who consider themselves to be the architects of society, it's not hard to imagine that they will be using musicians to push their agendas.
I was really giving Chick-fil-A another chance, but their texture has been disgusting. I took the first bite and I couldn't even get the chicken apart.
Oh
my God. Gross. We gotta go. There's some.
The quality of all these fast food restaurants is getting worse by the day. Now Chick-fil-A is out here selling deep fried bungee cord sandwiches.
Jeff Bezos is hoping you'll rent your computer in the future instead of owning one. His vision is that you won't own a computer, you'll rent.
See, I did this. Don't do it. You just pay it out because you can't get it back, man. Can't get it back.
Computing power from Amazon's cloud. That means he wants you to have only a screen, a keyboard, a mouse, and a monthly bill. And I bet you if he could charge you monthly to own the screen, keyboard, and mouse, he absolutely would. If you think about it, you already don't own a lot of things. Your music is all Spotify, your movies and shows, that's all Netflix. Both of those run on Amazon Web Services, by the way. So Jeff wants to make sure that you don't own your computer and that you'll pay monthly for the rest of your life. Cloud gaming is unfortunately growing. Xbox, Nvidia, and Amazon Luna are all pushing the same model. The thing that might actually make it happen is that AI is eating all the chips. RAM prices are spiking, SSD prices are spiking, companies are ending their consumer memory divisions to focus on data centers. Dell, Asus, and tons of other brands are hiking prices. Nation states are literally outbidding you for components to build AI infrastructure. So what happens when building a PC costs twice what it does today, or even
Bro, it's already high.
times. You'll eventually be forced to subscribe to a computer, at least that's what Jeff Bezos and other billionaires are betting you will. I highly recommend you all try your best to buy PC parts before it gets even worse, and even consider setting up a network attached storage at home and storing your stuff locally to avoid paying monthly to services like Google Drive. Home servers are actually growing in popularity as people are growing more aware of the situation. Hard drives are already more expensive than they used to be, and I bet you it's only going to get worse from here.
It doesn't really get more greedy than this. Next, they're gonna charge a monthly subscription for being human.
She was reporting a strange lady at the beach. This happened. A woman named Melissa was relaxing at the Hilton Head Beach in South Carolina when she's approached by this odd woman holding 2 fish, asking her if they want her to take them a picture, then begins to walk into the water. Melissa records her odd behavior, but something inexplicable happens.
This lady comes up to us, asks us if she wants us to take a picture of us, and then the ocean. And she disappears in the ocean with 2 things hanging from each side of her.
Is that her arms?
So I have to stay and watch this out. You see out there? But I sure was going to run after her.
Hello? Yeah, what's up? I text her and I gave her a call. She hasn't called me back yet.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here waiting.
Fuck.
Have you heard from anybody else?
Nope.
And then I text the other lady too, and then she didn't text me or call me back. But I do got good news about the somebody tomorrow might have it. He's gonna let me know. Yeah, I know. So I'm just waiting.
Alright.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to call her on your phone just so she won't know where to call. All right, I'll call her again.
Alright.
All right, bye.
Hi, this is Alicia. Thank you.
Look, she's not even at her ankles. She's far out there. And she's by herself. It's not really fun. I mean, they must know this water. You know what I'm saying? Jeremy, you don't know the water. You don't know. She's standing up. She's under the low weight. Jeremy, is she coming back yet? That was very, very dumb. This might be her home. Jeremy, she might turn into a mermaid. Just wait a minute. Do you see her still? What does she have in each of her hand? A fish? Did she go under?
She disappeared.
The lady disappears underwater as Melissa continues recording this 6-minute-long video to see if she resurfaces, yet she never does.
Jeremy, she's gone.
Holy shit.
Jeremy. Jeremy, she's gone. Jeremy, she's gone. Jeremy, she's gone.
Yeah, that's great.
That was the weirdest thing in the world. I am not leaving here until I see this woman. Why did she do that?
Yeah, was she like normal human?
Did you see the fish she had on the side of each of her hand when she was walking out there?
What about your friend?
All right, I'm about to shut this off. It's been 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
That must have been a mermaid.
Nobody ever came back.
And if somebody willingly walks out into the ocean like that, I would hope they were a mermaid so I wouldn't have to go do a rescue mission.
Never forget that the CEO who runs ChatGPT said this.
I am happy to say that I am convinced that the job destruction in the next couple of decades is going to be massive. Like, honestly, one of the things that I struggle with, like, getting out of the bed every morning is that, like, my job is to help people destroy jobs. Like, how are billions of people going to replace the meaning they got from work with whatever they're going to fill their time with? And I think this is the number one challenge.
He says he struggles with the fact that his job is to help people destroy jobs, but he's not struggling with it enough to shut down the company, so I don't want to hear it.
Ooh, there's something going on in ancient China. That is a crystal sword with gold inlay. Yeah, there is actually quite a few of these things. Some of them are metal and crystal, some of them are just crystal, and they go for like $3,000 to $10,000 on the antiquities market. Okay, we're gonna need some context to fully grasp these things. These are from the Warring States period in ancient China. This is right after the first dynasty, which was right after these wild things, which we'll get to in a little bit. Either way, this is 2,500 years ago, when a time when pretty much all of China had beef with all of China. Out of all that fighting came some very cool technologies, like how to make crystal swords. Now, these things are mostly found in, you guessed it, burials, which is...
I'm not gonna lie, that looks like that dagger on Game of Thrones. Crazy.
Super interesting, though. A couple years ago, crystal dagger was found in Spain. That's 5,000 years old, also in a burial. King Tut's dagger, found in a burial, made out of a meteorite. So not just the Chinese, but that's not where the similarities end. Before the first dynasty, they've discovered these things, which were very similar to the Mayan masks. Then you got this really technical craftsmanship, almost like they learned it from someone. Then, out of nowhere, the Qin dynasty starts building pyramids. Now, these are a little different.
I'm gonna give you my theory. I think they really did find time travel and went back in time, and they had this advanced civilization and passed the technology down, and they had to do a reset for some reason. I don't know what the reset was, but they did a reset, and then for some reason they turned us back into the. I feel like the Camboys Indian days, just with computers.
Regular pyramids. They are earth mound pyramids, but they have this internal architecture to them, kind of similar to like a Hindu stepwell, but way weirder. There is a river of liquid mercury underneath the pyramid where the burial chamber is. Where else do we see a river of liquid mercury? Pyramid of Teotihuacan in Mexico. Yeah. Let's get this straight. The liquid metal that's used in high current arc rectifiers is underneath a pyramid with a dude buried with a circuit sword.
The ancient Chinese were super advanced for their time. If you get hit with one of these crystal swords, you might actually turn into a fortune cookie.
Like I was saying earlier, most of the stuff does happen down here. And I mean, you can't really... That's freaky stuff right there, man.
What? Look at that.
That's what you call it. Freaks me out, man. It's giving me goosebumps. Boy, here we go with the door now.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like that. Ooh, that's creepy. So that door always swings wide open and it stays open. It doesn't ever close. Stay like that. Oh, there you go. Let go of it. Holy crap,
that's creepy.
You can tell he's been dealing with this for a while because he's not afraid at all. He's just mad he has to pick up the cans for the 10th time in 30 minutes.
There's only one country in the world that ever took this topic seriously.
Which country?
Russia. They took their science academy and took the 5 top scientists. This happened 40 years ago. And they started studying what was called almasty, same as our Bigfoot. I'm not you. This is 100% true. 2 of their scientists came to the U.S. I met one of them at a conference in Colorado 7 or 8 years ago. And I walk into the room, and he's holding both of my books as I walk in. And he says, Dave, you're the only guy to tell the truth out of everybody out here. What you're saying about the DNA,
what you're saying about the lineage is 100% fact. It's what we found. And we know that they aren't any kind of ape or gorilla. It's a human hybrid that people don't understand.
If Bigfoot is a human hybrid but it's not a type of ape or gorilla, then the real question is, what is the human DNA spliced with?
A massive underground tunnel connecting San Diego and Mexico has just been found under a fake retail store.
If it's that, excuse me, if that's true, I think it's Neanderthal and a human mix. You know, like a advanced human mixed with a Neanderthal, and then Neanderthal took over the DNA, and it just grew into what we know as Bigfoot.
By For Less in San Diego, they found over a ton of worth about $45 million. The footage inside of this thing is insane. The tech inside of it, it just tells you how long this actually has been around. So take a look. It's about 55 feet deep.
If the Mexicans or cartels can do this, imagine what the billionaires are doing.
This thing has a sophisticated hydraulic lift. It extends over 1,000 feet to the United States-Mexico border and 800 feet into Tijuana. It's operated using a rail and cart system, and it's equipped not only with electricity, but air condition as well. They charged 2 Mexicans and 2 Americans, possibly facing prison for life. They noticed that the store had absolutely no traffic, and the only men leaving the store, they were carrying suitcases and loading trucks with freezers. Well, the first thing I thought, obviously, when this article first came out was how many of these actually are there? And number 2, they need to investigate those mattress stores. They are so big, there are so many of them, and I've never seen anyone ever inside one of those stores.
We've been spending all this money trying to secure the border. Meanwhile, El Chapo has his own subway system.
Hey, you want to know something I bet you didn't know? This is the 12th junkyard in 6 weeks to mysteriously burn everything in it.
That's crazy because we've been hearing about the forest, we've been hearing about the other fires, explosions, crashes, airplane crashes. A lot of stuff going on. It seems like they're trying to start something.
Now, let me ask you a question. If you were about to take off all of the older vehicles that are on the roads, and you didn't want anybody to find parts, how would you do that? If you were about to say, you know what, we don't want all these older vehicles on our roads anymore. We're going to put new mandates. We're going to make you buy cars with sensors. We're going to do all this stuff. But how do we stop people from continuing to keep their old cars? Maybe burn all the junkyards? No, that couldn't be it, right? Like, that's just too smart of thinking, right? That's conspiracy thinking, right? This is just an accident, right? No coincidences, right? Stay safe, America.
If there was only 1 or 2 junkyards burning up, I would consider it a coincidence, but 12 junkyards burning up feels like an agenda.
What?
This has to be some sort of statue or monument, because I doubt somebody's out here driving around in a 2005 Chrysler cinder block. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to...
That was a great video. Shout out to Mod Churchill as always, bringing the great content. You know my name's Kale Sounds. We're back. Give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, share this on social media platforms. We're making our wave back, baby. Like I said, from 3K to 10K, we're on that wave. You know what I'm saying?